Greetings, everybody. I'm here today to do a video on some things I got from Amazon recently, and also from a recent trip to Half Price Books. What brought me on to Half Price Books was a video that was recently posted by that one Strawberry, in which she showed off a copy of a book called Batman Manga, which I've been trying to get a hold of at a reasonable price for a long time. Batman Manga is produces the original comic books that were created in Japan during the time of the 1966 Batman TV series over here. So those are like all new Batman stories, you know, never before published before this book came out. So I'm trying to get a hold of that a copy of that book at a reasonable price. But I went there, they didn't have it. Not in my part of the country, they didn't have it at Half Price Books. But I did pick up some other things, including a copy of Dune by John Harrison. This doesn't have the bookcase that it came in. However, it was only $8, and I checked out the CDs. There's 3 of them here, and they're all perfectly brand new, clean, like they've never even been viewed, never been watched, and it's just great, you know, brand new. So for $8 I thought it was worthwhile. And Dune is a movie that takes place in the distant future, on the planet Dune, which is home to a very bizarre and strange spice that whoever controls the production of it also has power and control over the populace and the direction of civilization. And it happens to be in the control of this totalitarian galactic empire. And along comes this guy with a messiah complex. I forgot who played that. That's this guy here, but I forgot who that is. And he leads a rebellion against the empire, and the entire movie is just a surreal sci-fi fantasy epic. And this particular set has the original 4 hours plus another half hour of never before seen footage. So I would recommend this, absolutely. If you can get it at a reasonable price, pick it up, buy it. Don't miss out on this. What else did I pick up there? Oh yeah, here. The complete series, TV series from 1982, The Greatest American Hero. Yeah, this ran in the early 80s. It starred William Catt, Robert Culp, and the hottie, at least at that time, Connie Selica. And it's a story about a guy who was given this suit by these aliens that enables him to have these extraordinary superpowers, and that's where the fun starts. It was nominated for an Emmy. So it's a great series. Great superhero, sci-fi fantasy series. You got to check this out, Greatest American Heroes. If you can pick it up somewhere at a price like that, 13 bucks, I wouldn't hesitate to pick it up. And whilst I did not get that book, Batman Manga, I did pick up this book at Half Price Books. Classic Era of American Comics by Nicky Wright. And I paid $7 or $8 for this book, and I think it was originally $20 or $25, but it just has some beautiful. Oh, look at this! This comic I showed in one of my videos is Superman #32, Golden Age cover, and I showed that in one of my videos. Just got a lot of beautiful reproductions of classic covers, you know, and a lot of interior panels from famous comic books. It's a great history on the golden age of comics and the beginning of the great American comic book. And it also has, including a short history on EC Comics. This caught my attention because True Crime Comics over here, this is issue number 2, which is the famous comic that was used in the Senate investigation into juvenile delinquency, blaming comic books for juvenile delinquency, and they used this as one of their panels there. And specifically, what they showed in the Senate investigation was this panel here, the famous needle to the eye panel. And this is just a great book. It tells you the story about that. And Jack Cole, who was, of course, the creator or co-creator of Plastic Man and a fantastic Golden Age artist, he drew this comic there. So this is just a great book. If you get an opportunity to pick this up, I would highly recommend that you do so. Great reproductions of classic covers and stories inside. Well worth the $8, I'll tell you that. I'm glad I got that. Let's see, what else did I pick up here? I must have... Empty. Coffee. I got a lot of stuff that's empty around here. Never fear, I have more. Sorry about that. I'm so far away from the camera on that side. No, on that side. Let's see. From Amazon, I got this. What did I pay for this? Let me see if I got the Tremors. This was this has all 4 movies. The first one, second, third, and fourth. The first one is by far the best film, and I really like that one. It's about all these people trying to survive an attack by these prehistoric ferocious earthworms that burrow through the earth, and have a voracious appetite for human flesh. And how it's about the story of how these people are trying to survive and kill them. It was pretty good. All 4 of these movies were good, but the first one was by far the best. So if you get an opportunity, pick up this Attack Pack Tremors, all 4 movies for only $10. You can't go wrong. 4 movies, man. I picked that up there at Amazon, and then I picked this movie up recently too. I'm not sure if I got this from Amazon. I don't know where this one came from. But yeah, The Meat Grinder. This is it's a Thai film about this woman who owns some kind of a noodle. She's a noodle vendor. A noodle vendor, and one day she discovers a dead body underneath her shack where she's making her food and stuff like that. And she's a little bit crazy, I guess, and she uses the dead body in the production of her soups. And people just go nuts over the recipe. It's so good. And well, she gets this huge amount of a huge level of fame, and people are coming from everywhere to get her noodle soup, and nobody realizes that she's using human beings, cutting up people and butchering them and put them in the soup. She realizes that she's got all this fame and she's making all this money now, and she has to now find a way to get more bodies and stuff. So it's kind of it's very pretty gross. She just engages in the most horrible, brutal way to kill these people. It's Something, if you're into Asian films, I would definitely check this one out, the meat grinder. But I think I must have bought that at Amazon at a different time than I got these. But I did also pick up from Amazon for $5 this classic, the Poltergeist, directed by Tobe Hooper, who did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this was produced by Steven Spielberg, and it was even banned in many parts of the country, including a large part of Texas where the theaters just wouldn't play it because of the supernatural violence being perpetrated against his family. And it was, you know, it was frightening at the time when it first came out, and it's frightening now. It's one of those movies, it's just one of those scare the pants off you films. And there's also something very interesting about this. I think it was nominated, I had a note someplace here, I don't know where the hell it is, but the 3 Academy Awards, I think. Yeah, it was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, but I don't think it won any. But it's just horrific, all this supernatural violence that's being perpetrated against his family in the haunted house that they live in. It's a great film, but you know what's interesting about this movie and the subsequent 2 that followed it is the so-called trilogy curse surrounding these films, because after each one of these films was made, someone died. Like during the or is it what? I mean, I got a list here. Let me check this out. Let's see. After this film was released, the Dominique Dunne, who played the oldest daughter in the film, she was murdered by her boyfriend. And in the second film, I don't have the second film, but in the second film, Poltergeist 2, you got actor Julian Beck, who played Henry Kane the Beast. He died of stomach cancer a year before the film was released, and then a year after Part 2 of Poltergeist was released, another actor, William Sampson, who played the medicine man in Poltergeist 2, he died of kidney failure in '87. That was the year after Poltergeist 2 was released. So you had somebody die a year before Poltergeist 2 was released, and then another guy died a year after Poltergeist 2 was released. And then in the third film, which was the last film, starring Heather O'Rourke, the little 12-year-old girl who played Carol Ann, around which the entire plot centers, she died. She was only she was played in all 3 movies, and she was only 12 years old. She died of some kind of a pulmonary arrest as a result of septic shock or something like that. And the movie was when that movie was released, she had already been dead for 6 months, so it was kind of weird, you know, watching that movie, knowing that the little girl, that's her right there, that died. You know, I mean, it's really, really bizarre. You can research that on Wikipedia. You know, it's. I don't have copies of the second and third film, but I'm not even sure if I want to watch a second and third film. I mean, you know, if I watch all 3 films, I might be cursed too. Anyway, that's what I picked up today. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I have to put something in here. Here I come to save the day. I'll do like my wife does. She puts a little bit of... Ooh. My wife can't stand the smell of men's cologne. But I'm sure she'd like this. Captain America cologne. Ah, it smells nice. If I smell that nice, I wouldn't even have to take a bath anymore. See y'all next time.